I'm Inga Larson with Life Crafting, and behind my right shoulder is a good friend of mine, Margaret. And I'm going to show you, actually we're going to show you, an exercise I like to do with my clients that gives them a better sense of what boundaries are. As I said in my blog, boundaries are more than just a concept. They are actually an experience of energies meeting. And I'm going to prove this with Margaret, who has never done this exercise before. Right? Ready? So I am going to stand here, and for the first part, what Margaret is going to do, what you are going to do, honey, is you are going to simply notice where you're standing. Okay. And as you stand, you're going to go ahead and put your feet to shoulder width, and then get really solid. You can rock back and forth, side to side, and just kind of get a sense of the sweet spot where your feet really feel solid on the floor. So an important point here is that you cannot do this exercise if you're out of your body. And most of us, actually, in this culture, are a little bit to a lot out of our bodies. We're dissociated. We're all in our heads. So the first very important step here is getting in your body. So then just notice, Margaret, as you scan your body, starting with your feet on up, letting your knees relax, noticing your foundation, your pelvis. You can even put your hands on your pelvis. Just feel the solidness of it. And then get a sense of your spine and the energy from your spine moving down also into the ground, so that you all have a sense of your energy actually grounding, getting solid and grounding. And what's going to happen now is that I am going to do something that's going to feel very, very strange. And I'm going to explain to you why I'm doing it after we do this exercise. So, I promise you I'm not going to tie you up. All right? What I'm doing is I'm creating a circle around Margaret. I'm going to have you stand, come forward a little bit. Yeah, beautiful.
Replant.
And there is a method to my madness here. I'm going to make a rough circle. Okay. And the circle has a diameter that allows for a certain distance in all directions. Okay. Beautiful. All right. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to walk to Margaret, and I am going to not look you in the eye because that's a particular kind of threat. But I want you to keep looking at me. And when you feel something different, that's all I'll tell you, when you feel something different in your body, just raise your hand and I'm going to back up. Okay. Ready?
Yes.
All right. Okay, what did you notice?
A tingling. It was a tingling that went in me.
Okay, great. So is the tingling still happening?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay, so let yourself follow the tingling.
Okay.
And keep tracking it. See what happens to it.
It's moved down from my knees to my feet.
Great.
Because it's like it had started up there or something.
Great. So let yourself continue to ground it. Ground through your feet and through that invisible energy line that descends from your sacrum into the ground.
Yeah, it's almost left my feet. Almost like it's coming out my toes or something.
Perfect. All right.
Strange.
So I happen to know from my friend Margaret that she has really good boundaries. I think you do anyway.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
But I'm going to show you what happens with people who don't have good boundaries, one way or the other. There are actually two ways of having unhealthy boundaries. One is to have very rigid boundaries that keep everyone far at bay. And the other is to have no boundaries whatsoever. And I'm going to show you both examples. Actually, Margaret is going to show you both examples. Through the magic of modern photography, I am now Margaret. Actually, Margaret is holding the camera, and I want to show you two different examples of what happens with people who have poor boundaries. And the first is going to happen as soon as Margaret starts walking my way. Go ahead and start. All right, this is what I see with some of my clients. Immediately, almost as if some light switch got turned on, they feel a surge of anxiety, even at the thought of someone walking my way. And it's not a pleasant tingling like Margaret had a few minutes ago. It is a surge of anxiety and an immediate stop. So you can imagine that their boundaries are pretty much as far out as they can throw them. That the world is an essentially unsafe place and they want to keep everything out and them in. And it can kind of explain some of the people you know, and it can maybe even explain you. So we're going to do something different. Go ahead and go back a little bit, Margaret. This is the other variation on the theme that you are going to see with some people, and you may even identify with yourself. So walk to me, Margaret. Keep walking. Keep walking. Keep walking. Does this feel like some of the people you know? There are no boundaries at all. Perfect.